This program is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Pop Culture Podcast. It's that time again. It's Thursday, March, what is it, the 25th?
Yes.
I got to get that right because how's everybody doing? Everybody have a good week so far? Tom, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Can't complain, but I will.
Been good. I can complain because, I don't know why my house has such a hard time getting deliveries. Amazon, FedEx, UPS. I ordered a $100 pair of earbuds and UPS said they delivered it at 6:13 and it's nowhere to be found in front. So I'm salty. I'm pissed today.
Hey, I had one of those days too.
Why can't these delivery services just do their job right? Like, isn't it a requirement that they read numbers? I don't know.
We have a problem with morning glory, so I got some nuclear weed killer, and I drove it all the way to our house from our parents' house. And when I read the bottle, it said, wait till the weeds are 3 to 5 inches, and they haven't even sprouted. So drove an hour out of my way just to do nothing.
Jeez, that's rough. That is rough. I feel for you.
I could have read the bottle before I left.
That's all right. It happens. So the beautiful and lovely Christina Stockberger is back with us. Christina, thanks for coming on.
Hello. Thank you.
You have an interesting proposition. You said that you had questions for us and you wanted to flip the script and interview us tonight. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought that was interesting. So
I like where this is going, propositioning us.
Yeah, because I have such a passion for, I guess, life itself, really, but for Africa and just the film industry there. So I kind of want to know how you met Pinto and what your interest is. You said you've known him actually probably longer than I have because I'm going on 9 years, and I think you said 10.
Yeah, it's been about that. Yeah, I think Pinto was probably one of my first Facebook friends that I kind of just networked with. Molly says put them on the hot spot. For sure. He would post his pictures of his work, and it's incredible what he did. And when then I found out the ingredients that he was using, like flour, honey, just like household goods, it was just inspiring. And from that, I think I met more and more of the Ghanaian filmmakers and the actors like Scorpion. I connected with him, and it's inspiring. It's inspiring because they have so little resources and they're just determined to make these films and the best that they can. It's inspiring, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
It definitely is. There's so much talent out there. I don't know how, or I just always say, to keep it in simple terms, that God's working through me. Because as a child, I wrote poetry on apartheid and African struggles when it wasn't really that focused in that time. Remember where I'm talking, I was born in 1968, so times are different than they was even now. And that talk show that I was talking to you earlier about just led me in there, and I've met so much talent there, but I hear their struggles just with their own film unions. Like here in America, we make films, we find ways to make money with it, and it seems like their throats get cut a whole lot out there. So what have you discovered from talking to filmmakers and people that you've met over there as far as the filming process?
Yeah, so we had an interview with Christian Adiabo 2 weeks ago.
I watched that as well. Yes.
The connection sucked, but
always.
What we did,
that's how they keep them in the dark.
Yeah, it was interesting. The film union over there in Ghana, these filmmakers are paying dues, they're paying their union fees, and they're not getting any help. It's a case of
Not anything.
it's not based on your talents. They'll help you based on who it's not based on talent. It should be, if you've got a talented filmmaker, that's somebody you want to support, that's somebody you want to boost up, but you have to have connections. You have to know the right people for the union to help you. And I think that's rotten. That's just backwards thinking.
Yeah. It's sad, and that's something I go for is unity. I definitely believe in unity, and it's somehow the continent that started all of life, that came from it takes a village to raise a child, and if I eat, you eat, and the unity mentality that I thought of as a child. It's like when I look at the film industry, I just say, well, where is that? Where is that at?
Yeah.
Somewhere it got lost.
Yeah. Like I asked Christian about the film community in Ghana, and he said there is no community in Ghana, and that's sad because, every city, every community has like a filmmaking community. Milwaukee has a really good filmmaking community, and, everybody supports each other, and that they don't have that over in Ghana. And I think that's, that's sad. I wish that would change, filmmakers need to support each other.
Yeah.
That's the best part about it.
And, when people go independent and they try to get away from labels and unions and stuff like that, sometimes that's what has to happen. That's why I really believe that I can go out there and teach and completely change their entire industry. Like, just when the production quality, you have to be able to afford the makeup, and they can't right now because the makeup tells a story. I mean, look at Tyler Perry. If he ain't got makeup, his characters don't exist. You know what I'm saying? Eddie Murphy, anybody, you need makeup to tell stories. And if you can increase that production value, it draws in an interest so people want to watch it. Hopefully they could actually somehow get distribution straight to Netflix or something. I'm trying to find answers, because me going out there teaching, it's not like it's going to save the world. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to do so much, because you still need production value. You need all that. So I'm trying to unite with people that maybe other talent, like I can't be the only one that has the heart that I have. I have the heart to go out there. It's not about the money for me. It's about wanting to see that talent exposed. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much talent, even in music. I mean, if you really follow Pinto, you'll see he's got a lot of musicians under his talent.
Yeah.
These people will do whatever it takes. He's got lights. He's got, like he's advertising people's apartments for them. Whatever works, that's what they do. And then they put everything into their film. Sometimes don't eat for 2 and 3 days just so that they could get transportation to get to a set. You know what I'm saying? So, like, when I think about our industry as a filmmaking industry, I don't care what part of the world you're in. It's like sports. It's like the stock markets. It's like real estate. These are your multi-billion-dollar industries. And Africa should be in it. Like, there's a continent of, you're familiar with Ghana. I'm somehow networked across the continent. I've got a godchild in Uganda, just because the woman loved my spirit so much. She said, no, you got to be part of my son's life. So I hold his name all the time. I gave him a nickname. His name's Baki. I named him Baki because I asked her what her native language was. It's Rukanda. So I looked up, and from what I can get from my understanding of how I research things, Ba, let me look at my notes, because I put down some notes to make sure. Ba's, because I don't want to get them confused, for by the people, for the people. And Ki means customs and traditions. So kind of like, I don't believe in giving people titles for names. I believe in giving meanings to their life to give you strength, spiritually lift you. And I'm a very spiritual person. I believe everything has to do. So his name's Baki, so that he can lead his people with their customs and traditions, and hopefully to a better place. And so, yeah, I just want to go out there and teach, because I don't want to give them fish. I want to teach them to fish.
Yeah.
So if I can teach in Ghana, I teach in Nigeria, teach in Kenya, teach in Uganda, I everywhere. And that's my interest. So how and where do you think you fit in? Or do you think just interviewing people you're learning? And do you have any further intentions?
Well, my whole goal with all these interviews is to cast a light on Ghana, on the Ghana filmmaking. Let people know that it exists. You know what I mean? Get just get some attention to it, because like going back to Pinto. One of the reasons that Pinto is so damn inspiring. He promotes everybody. He's always thinking about other people. And one of his posts, he posted like where he lives, like he sleeps on a mat on a floor. He's got so little, that man has so little, but he's so giving. He's just a completely altruistic person. And, that's inspiring to me. I think more people need to be like that.
That is why, like, my full intention is to always keep him under my wing. Like, I talk to him. He's a little secretive, but like, I got a lot I can teach him, and our friendship built when I came out there, because I've actually been to Ghana, as I said in our other show. And his heart is just amazing. So I want to keep him under my wing. And I've talked to some of the top schools, or I've tried to talk to some of the top schools out there to say, hey, let me come out there and teach your artists and bring him in as my assistant. That's going to be my plan. He's going to be my assistant. This way, when I leave, he can remain and be their teacher. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can continue to teach. And then I'm talking with somebody named Gabrielle from Exotic Model and Modeling and Makeup. Beauty. That's what it's called. Mm-hmm. So it's Exotic Modeling and Beauty School. They're just opening. They said they want to bring me out there once a year to teach. So I figured what I could do is, bring Pinto, and maybe this other girl, Chinoso. I don't know. I think she might be from Nigeria, though. I'm not sure who she is, but she's another really talented makeup artist out there. And she gets products. I don't know how she's getting them, but Nigeria is different than Ghana. They have different ways of getting their stuff. And as we all can see, they're getting into the film world worldwide. We see them in our American films, as well as the music. It's integrated. So I want to see Ghana do the same thing. I want to see the rest of Africa do the same thing, because this is a stream of income that makes millionaires. You know what I'm saying? If you're talented and you get it, it builds. And it doesn't have to do with anything else but the filmmaking process or the film section, because there's a lot of other things they need to grow as well. But film is my specialty, and I believe it's you guys' specialty.
Yeah.
Correct? Is that, because that was another question. I learned of your program, your podcast, because of Pinto. And since I've been following it, I've gone back through some of them. I've watched some of your shows. It seems like you're all about film. So is that what your podcast is about? Is it all about filmmaking?
It's pop culture. It's anything film, television, music. Next week we have 2 morticians coming on the show that are going to tell us some crazy mortician stories. So we're kind of all across the board.
Okay.
Mostly in the entertainment industry. Yeah.
Oh, did you post this link to my page so that if anybody happens to be up, because, the time zone change is very different, because, I'm not, if I right now take focus off, I will not be talking to you, because it'll take me a minute just to figure out how to share the link.
I'll do that now.
Technology will clearly show you quickly how well we get along. I'm all hair and makeup. I eat, breathe, and drink it. Don't ask me about anything else. Yeah, no, but I did, it's midnight in Ghana. It's 1:00 in the morning in Nigeria. It's, I believe, 3:00 in the morning, because there's 6 hours ahead right now, because our time zone change. We are the only people that flop back and forth with time. Messes me up, because I know my time zones across the continent, but I got to always calculate, okay, are they 4 or 5 right now? We sprung ahead. We did what? And jump back and forth to calculate it. So I believe it's 3:00 in the morning in Uganda. So I don't know that they're actually listening. They'll probably check in and see the recorded version. But I just figured if we had any questions for them, because I would love if, you know, you have, just like you've had Christian on and Pinto on, that the focus is definitely there so that people can start saying, you know what, why aren't we building in Africa? There's a lot of other talented crew members that we could all get together and say, you know what, let's go over there on some sponsored type thing, and let's just teach a whole mass of people about filmmaking, makeup, everything, so that they can at least increase the production value, so that they can present it to something like Netflix or HBO and start making some money.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be down for that anytime. You know, even getting it on Amazon Prime, and getting something on Amazon Prime is actually pretty easy. You don't make a lot of money at first, but you know, having that kind of exposure is, you know, it's fantastic.
Yeah, even the exposure. I mean, I think that for your show, by interviewing people, that's such a great way for them to learn some of the things they need to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just maybe they didn't know that they could do crowdfunding, you know, fundraising. They don't know the actual sites to do it. Because I think a lot of them do, but that doesn't always go over so well. We all know we don't, unless you got good connections, you're not going to raise much.
Yeah.
So, but other ideas, you know, like I can only speak, you know, we're very departmental in America. So I learned one day the hard way, you don't touch anything on set that's not your department. So this director, Alric Brown, he's just so amazing. I love working with that director. But anyway, there was some popcorn on a set one day on the table. And I can't say how many times he asked for this popcorn to be removed off the set, and his PAs still hadn't done this. And so eventually I just got frustrated, and I went and took the popcorn off the set so we could continue filming. You know, this is ridiculous. Like, it's too much money per a minute in film world. So he told me, he said, put it back down. He said, I want to see how long it's going to take my PAs to follow what I just ordered, you know, like what I just said, not ordered. He would probably never, ever even use the word ordered, because if we're talking right now and somebody walks in behind us on the set, he'll actually reach back to them to acknowledge, without breaking his conversation with you, to acknowledge that somebody's came on the set. This man's done Peace Corps and everything. But why was I bringing him up? I said something about working with, I don't know. That's one of those moments. It's gone.
I get those a lot.
I think I had asked you something.
Why didn't you want popcorn on the set?
Oh, we were talking about the popcorn. Well, because that scene was over. Oh. So it was a cut.
Okay.
It was a cut. Let's swap this out. Let's move that off, or, you know, whatever it was a scene change. So the popcorn needed to get took off the table.
I thought it was on the craft table, and he just had like a rock star moment where he didn't.
Oh, no. This was a hot set. That was a hot set. So, you know, but I'm standing there because I like to make sure that I watch my monitor, because I'm watching makeup. Like, we all have our department that we fill and we're responsible for, because if my makeup looks bad, it's not the director and other people's fault. It's my fault, because that was my job. The director has a lot of work already watching everything. Now, of course, he still is watching the makeup, because if there's something drastically wrong, he's gonna be like, yo, you didn't catch that? You know, but he expects me to watch my makeup, you know, without getting in the way as well. There's so much set etiquette that I think they can learn. That's one thing that I can say and notice. And also that I can make a comment is, jack of all trades. You can't master everything. And while we do in America have people who want to produce, direct, and act all in the same movie, it doesn't usually turn out too well. Mm-hmm. You know, so when it comes down to asking someone what they are, they're an actor, they're the cinematographer, the director, the producer, you know, like you have to master something so that you get really good at it. And I would hope to see that happening in their industry, where I'm a cinematographer and it stops, you know, like they master it. This way, that quality production, they're grips and gaffers, they're lighting people. You know what I'm saying? They have to learn to get very focused. So, and I get it that they try to play so many roles because they don't have the money to pay all this crew. It's expensive to make films.
Right.
So your show, you know, like I tell poets, you're also a path into opening gates in the world, because you bring insight into things, just like programs like this bring insight into things. So I thank you for my interview. I thank you for the people that you're interviewing. I hope that I continue to look. It's been going on 9 years now. So, like I have gotten frustrated, like Pinto said. It's
Sure. Yeah.
hard when you talk to people and it goes nowhere. Like I took everything I had to go out there and try to talk to people to see what we can pull together. And the crickets is chirping real loud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if I could give them advice, if I can give the Ghanaian filmmakers advice, it would be work together. Build a community, help each other out. It would only benefit everybody. Just work with each other, help each other out.
Yeah. I mean, you got to be able to build together, but I mean, yeah, it's hard. And the makeup side of things, it costs money. Like the supplies. I know that there's been times where I've worked with actors that are not getting paid, but I'm getting paid on the set because you got to give me back. I've got supplies, you know what I'm saying, that are expensive. These supplies for effects are ridiculous. Some third degree, some alcohol activated makeup. That's already almost $200 just for those two things. You know what I'm saying? So I started playing because of talking to Pinto and Flower and different things. I actually started playing with mixing some stuff that they can get in and use to actually make prosthetics. They'd be on what I do for Halloween levels, but it's such a higher step up from where they're at already. So I could start with that. They start teaching and building from that. The tricks they'd start pulling off. And then like that school that wants to bring me out once a year, come and upgrade their skills each time. Even if like Chinoso, if she could get makeup, but like I said, I think she's in Nigeria because I'm not sure how Pinto knows her. I met her through Pinto. Like a lot of people, a lot of the makeup artists, they just hit me up and I've met them through Pinto.
Yeah, and a lot of the makeup that they use over there, you can't use the same stuff that you use like in America, like latex, things like that, because it melts. It's hot and it's humid over there. So I'm sure you have to use special.
No, I think you could use latex. I brought latex out there and it works. Yeah, I brought latex with me. There is, like, you can't use gelatin products. If you want to mix a gelatin prosthetic, gelatin gives you a nice fleshy cut. It's going to melt. You can't use gelatin over there. Your third degree, I'm sure you could probably still use third degree over there. I did not use third degree over there because I knew that was going to be way over what they could afford to use. I did bring latex with me, though. I had kept the latex with me, though, because I was actually supposed to do a show. They wanted to interview me. They actually interviewed me, but then they wanted me to come back so they could do a video portion of an interview where I would actually do some demonstrations. Mm-hmm. So I had gave Pinto a couple things in makeup that it was almost like I wasn't really hearing too much about moving forward with that. So some stuff that I knew I could get away with not using. And I told him, go play with that. Like it was different than what he had access to. So I told him, go play with it. But it was only like some blood, some coagulated blood. Mm-hmm. So it was like that deep blood. And I don't remember what else, but I just wanted him to play and maybe hopefully make some money with it, whatever he had, because I think the coagulated blood was a decent amount.
Tom, do you remember the recipe that Pinto used for his blood? I know honey was in there.
Coffee.
Oh yeah, coffee, chocolate. You can put all kinds of, because it just depends on the depth of the color you want. Like, I'm trying to think what movie that was. They just used straight up chocolate. They didn't even use anything. I think it was like one of the Psycho movies or something.
Yeah, the first Psycho was Hershey syrup.
Yeah, straight up Hershey syrup. So you can, but in this day of HD, I don't suggest you do that, because somebody gonna be like, why they bleeding brown? Because it's gonna look brown. But yes, I make my own bloods too. I like to one of my favorite bloods is that. Well, I shouldn't do that because that's probably giving them little props, but yeah, it's all right. It's legal as long as you're not wearing logos, right? But the Fleet Street blood, that's some nice blood. I like that blood, but I still always play and alter it. I coagulate it. I do different things to it. I just sometimes want it a little chunky even. So I might throw cornstarch in there. You know, like I play. I just like to play. And the one thing I like to get real. You know, I don't like real blood. I don't want to see nobody bleeding. My kids get a little scratch. I'm like, oh my God. But when I'm creating it with makeup, it's art. It's like creating a depth here and a highlight here. And how's this? Because the naked eye read different than the camera. So it's like, how do you make this pop on camera? And I always take a lot of pictures before I send anybody out to set.
Mm-hmm.
I take pictures so that I can get an idea of how my camera's reading it. And then I check the monitor on camera. Once, you know, they're set up on monitor, they got monitor up. I'm like, let me get a quick look and make sure that he reading on your camera right. And there's no hot spots. There's, you know, nothing, whatever. And then that's it. Until it's, you know, a cut that I jump in maybe for some touch-ups. You know, I try to feel my set out. You know, like I don't need the director actually call for makeup, you know, or last looks or, you know, anything. I'm usually right there to say, all right, you know, and if they're talking, I know, you know, I'm not going to come over there while he director doing it in pattern unless I know that it's called for. You know, like if he's already told me that, all right, they're sweating or, you know, something like that. You know, there's just so much that they can learn from you having shows like this and interviewing us here in America, how we have set etiquettes and how we handle each one of our positions. You know, I'm talking makeup, you get somebody camera, you get somebody sound and stuff like that. That could probably help them a whole lot.
Yeah, for sure.
They have to follow you though.
Yeah.
So that they know when the shows is there. So hopefully it creates you an audience.
Definitely.
Let me see if I have any other questions for you, because I think I might have I just wanted to know, what are you doing film? Like, what's your specialty? How long have you been in film? Are you cinematographer, sound? You obviously know how to set up a studio, so producer.
Yeah, I like to produce. Right now, I'm doing a show called Crimson Theater. That's for Chicago network VPod TV. Basically,
Nice.
on that, I produce it, direct it, edit it. I do everything on that.
Beautiful.
So that's kind of my project right now.
Yeah, and I just seen a post too that you're about to do some AM radio.
Yep. I took a
nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Tom, what do you do?
What do I do? Comedy podcasting. I'm more into the comedy scene than the movie scene.
Yeah.
Myself. So.
Okay, so you watch a lot of comedy movies. Those are always good. I love my horror though. And it's not that I get scared, but sometimes I really can get scared from some of these movies because, you know, and you think about, wow, that doesn't really happen. So I'm not just about the slashers, but I like the psychological thrillers, I guess, too. But comedy is always my next. Well, no, I can't say that.
Well, I run Twisted Dreams Film Festival with Chris too. So
I was going to say Tom is an assistant director for the Twisted Dreams Film Festival.
Nice.
He's in films. He's being come on now.
Yeah, let's hear a little bit about you too.
Yeah, we do movies with Mark. We do.
Coming from.
Yeah, movies with Mark.
Tom's also a writer. Tom's written some films too. He's got one for his girlfriend that he really wants to make.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. Nice. Well, it's nice to be in you guys' circle. Now, you know, that's what this industry is always going to be about, is networking. You know, your talent's going to get you but so far, because if you don't know anybody and you don't know how to get in, then you just talented. And it goes the same way. If you don't have talent, you might get in. But once that favor up, they're like, I ain't working with that one again.
We know a couple of guys in this business that don't have much talent. I think of one in particular.
Yeah.
Tom knows what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah, no name dropping. You know, that's one thing I learned. You don't talk about nobody from your sets and stuff, because you don't know who, and it gets back around, and you put them on TMZ, and they're gonna be a problem with your pockets, because they're gonna be suing it out of you.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
One day I'll be on TMZ.
My girlfriend says you don't want her to act in the movie. We do a lot of comedy skits for our podcast, and I always have her in it, and she'll have like one line and it'll take an hour. She is such a bad actress.
I can see Molly over here making a comment.
Yep.
Well, you guys are going to be recurring characters on the show on Crimson Theater.
Yeah. Let's get out there.
Molly on. Molly can be a sexy nurse. We have a scene planned where you're going to be like a head in a pan.
All right.
It's going to be one of those optical illusions, or just a head in a pan for the brain that wouldn't die. And then there's the co-host Moriella is going to be a sexy nurse, and maybe Molly can be like a sexy assistant nurse.
Yeah, or a student nurse just watching what's going on. I always ask, do you mind if my student?
You got the whole script coming out now. You about to be in something.
That's going to be a fun show. I can't wait to do that.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Molly can dress in a smart suit. She'll have a clipboard. She's the student nurse for the.
She can wear my old UWM polo.
There you go.
You know what just came to my mind? What was
my old school uniform?
The last show that you had with Christian? I was laughing so hard because he said,
"Oh yeah,
campus," and y'all was like compost. Compost. Like, what you doing at the compost? Filming at the compost?
Yeah, we misheard Christian say campus.
Yeah, he was clearly talking about college life, living on the campus. What is living at school like?
But
all I heard was compost, and I'm like, well, you got to repeat that. You said compost again.
Molly says she feels attacked. You're not being attacked, Molly. We love you.
Oh God.
Yeah, I'm a head in a pan. You got good job.
Yeah, so I just coming back into just trying to figure out paths and direction to actually just getting over there to teach again. Like I said, I have the school that they've been talking to me for, I guess, the past year now. They just reorganized and stuff, and he's talking about having me come out there and teach. And it's been hard. I've done fundraisers. You would think that, people would say, okay, let's at least donate to this. She's offering to go out there and teach. I just need to be able to survive. I've got bills back in America. I've got things there, but I don't want to go out there. I'm not Beyonce asking for $10 million to perform. I just want to go and be able to eat that day, pay for my transportation so I can get to where I got to go, because it's funny, transportation out there, something that you could probably walk to faster, being four miles, you have to walk, because I was looking at something, it was 4 miles to the nearest store, because I'm actually looking at Airbnb in Africa. But 4 miles, they said, takes about 20 minutes car ride. I said, a 20-minute car ride for 4 miles? Like, I will walk that, and I'll see you when you get there. Yeah, go ahead, take the car. I'm going to walk.
You need to go on Twitter, and you have to @ Oprah Winfrey and then pitch. Or @ a major celebrity.
Maybe. I wonder if she, and it's funny because I've thought about Akon. Akon, I was like, oh, he put all this in his village over there. Maybe he'd be interested, but I don't know any filmmakers where he's from, so it's just a little bit different. Because so far my areas have been Uganda. I do know a couple people. I don't think I know any filmmakers though. I know a couple people from Kenya, but not filmmakers. So I just was trying to start in areas where at least I have film people around me so that they could teach each other and build unity.
Are there film communities in other parts of Africa? What's all that like?
Oh, yeah. Uganda.
Africa, yeah.
Nigeria, definitely. Obviously, we know because they're here. They're filming with us.
Yeah.
But Uganda as well. I can't speak for anywhere else. I don't know because I don't really know filmmakers from anywhere else other than those 3 areas.
Mhm.
And I've got friends that I've talked to in other areas here and there. Like, we don't talk all the time. Because the one thing I don't do, I don't spend a lot of time sitting on chats. I don't got time to talk to people. Like, it's not that I'm not a friendly person. It's not that I don't love people. Like, there's different forms of love to me. You love people because you want to give them love first. There's no reason to give somebody anything else but love first. You give them a hug, you say hello, whatever, you just met them. It doesn't matter. You love them first. And then when they give you reasons not to, you still don't hate them. You just leave them alone. You know what I'm saying? Because to harvest hate just eats at you. So you don't do that.
Yep, for sure. So, back to horror films. What's your favorite horror film?
Ooh, my favorite horror film. Well, it depends on what kind we're talking about, because I love the Freddy Kruegers, all the Freddy Kruegers, because the makeup effects. I mean, like, they're just, I like the effects. Yeah, and the imagination into the effects. From the veins walking out it was just so creative, and the effects to me just really good. Now, scary wise, there's a few of them that kind of scary to me. Drag Me Straight to Hell or something?
Drag Me to Hell, yeah.
Drag Me to Hell, yeah, that one was pretty scary.
That's PG-13 too. They got away with a lot in that film for PG-13.
Oh, yeah, I was surprised at that too, because that was a lot. What, they just didn't curse or something? I don't. How'd they get over with that?
I don't know. They got a PG-13 rating. Go figure. That's pretty damn scary for PG-13.
Yeah, and like, I know everybody loves the Halloweens and the Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
they're classics just because they're Halloween and Friday. The 13th, but they're just slashers to me, and slashers sometimes to me get boring. They're just seeing people get stabbed up and run into stupid places, like that commercial where they're like, no, let's run in the saw shed, is so that kind of form of horror. It's like, girl, if you don't get the hell out the hell, why you want to even go in there? Like, what's the point? So sometimes those ones aren't necessary. They're just, I'll watch them just because you watch them.
I watch them differently. I relax and I root for the bad guy.
Yeah, these days I do. Yeah.
Get them, Jason.
They're very formulaic, but they're silly fun.
That chick's dumb. She
it is
deserves
silly
to die.
fun. Exactly, that's what it is. It's silly fun, and that's something that Africa, I think, also, to bring it back into Africa again, because I'm all about Africa for this talk show thing, sort of. I'm still about film, but they have such how you call it?
Stereotypical.
Yes, ways about certain things. So Halloween is like demonized to them. They don't understand that. Yes, if you know the truth about any of these holidays, why do we celebrate any of them? But Halloween is it's supposed to, I guess, originally have been to scare the demons off or whatever, but they look at it as it's very demonic. Instead of how we look at it, like, oh, we get to get dressed up and play somebody we're not for a day. We get to get dressed up and maybe scare people if that's our personality. Maybe he dresses up like something funny and goes around and makes everybody laugh. Right, Tom?
Yeah.
So it's fun, and they have to learn to look at that scary side of life as fun. You know what I'm saying? Like the Halloween side, or even the filmmaking that has scariness to it, just to tell a story and not think that they're going to get demonized from it. Not to think because they watched that movie, they might have invited in a bad spirit or something. So that's, I think, another thing that goes with the horror side of things, maybe. And maybe I could be lying. I don't know. I just try to go by what people see. And the reason I say that is my friend had posted, I think I said in the last show, one of my pictures on his page. And he was like getting all these comments about people freaking out about the picture. Take that down. Why are you putting that demon up there? And it was my picture of me face painted. I did have I don't know if you have any of those pictures this time, but there's half of my face is painted like one monster and the other ones painted like another monster. And I went out with my kids for Halloween that year, and everybody was like, yo, that is the bomb. What are you, though? I said, your worst nightmare. And that was my answer all night long. Your worst nightmare.
Chris is
Are they pretty superstitious in Ghana?
Yeah, I'd say there's a lot of superstition and belief in witchcraft and voodoo and stuff. Not that I'm gonna say that runs their society, because we had that here too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got Sankaria, you got all kinds of spiritual things. I'm from the Bronx, you know, like the park down the block. You didn't go there at night because you knew there was something going on in that park. You go there the next day, find chickens cut up, the head cut off, you know, dead animals, did things from their seances and different things, whatever they do. I don't mess with that stuff, because I do believe there's a spirit world. You know, there's a spirit world. We came from spirit. We gonna go back to spirit. So why would you think there's not a spirit world? Why fuck with it? That's my question. I don't need to go visit you. You don't need to come visit me.
Yeah, that's I never thought of that. You know, Tom, didn't you watch a scary movie, a slasher film from Christian last week?
Yes.
What was that about?
It was a slasher film, but it was a man who went to war, got injured, and then was basically cast aside and sent back home, and he was useless with no help. And then, like, his hatred said, you know, I saved all these lives. I'm taking them back. I'm going to kill everybody.
Wow, that sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
That I could really see if that really got produced and made well. That could be really good, because what is it? PTSD?
PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
PTSD? Yeah, that's something serious. You know,
Yeah.
and like that in a way just brought awareness to me on that's PTSD right there. And they be bugging out sometimes. They see things. They go back to war in their head. So
Mm-hmm.
I can see that being a really good film.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's so much talent there. The musicians, the talent of how their minds creatively work, even if they're doing the wrong thing, the creativity of the mind, the way they work is just, it's so beautiful. And it's so like, I just see if the two worlds of American filmmaking and African come together, the stories that are going to get created. Like, we need to, you know, like, we get dry sometimes and try to remake stuff that we knew was good, and it never as good as the first one. Well, I'm not gonna say never. There's maybe been a couple that they did improve on, but you know, for the most part, you need new ideas, fresh ideas. You can only tell the same story so many times in so many different ways with so many different actors before it's like, okay.
Well, when he was talking about how this movie was made, it kind of seemed like he had an idea. Like he talked to somebody, got their story, and was like, you know what? If I just wrote your story and then made you a total serial killer slasher, people would understand why you did that. This could be a horror movie.
Yeah.
They just added your life story, plus you went psycho.
And when you can touch people emotionally with realism, that's some of the best films.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think that following campus life can actually, if you can find a creative way to show that, may give insight into why is there so many damn suicides on campus life. You know, film is entertaining, but trust and believe there's always some truth. I don't care what kind of film it is, from horror to comedy to action. The truth based on where the idea for the story came from somewhere. Something existed. You know, they saw something that maybe made their imagination take it off somewhere else, but it came from something that they already knew about. You can't write something about something you don't know exists.
Yeah. Molly says that you can't make me touch a Ouija board. LOL. I am not messing with any of that.
Yeah.
Nope. I have a Ouija board.
Oh yeah, well you go ahead, because this is about as close to the end we'll get.
Another thing that I do is I'm a paranormal investigator. I've been with a couple of groups, and now we we investigate the paranormal. It's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun. Ouija boards don't bother me. I know that it's just a board.
That's how Chris and I met, actually.
That's
Paranormal Investigation.
Yeah. We came
at my studio.
Tom's studio has some. Well, your house.
My house too. Our house. We're not even living at my house right now. It's haunted. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah. See, I think y'all inviting that stuff in. Hello, but no. The paranormal stuff, though, I guess. Maybe for you, and you can answer that, is kind of like people who like roller coasters and like to jump out of planes that are perfectly healthy and fine and call it a parachute. There's just adrenaline junkies. And I mean, I love horror films, but that's about as much adrenaline as I need. That
I have been to so-called gates to hell. I have been to some of the most haunted locations in America. I always invite, hey, take my body. You want energy, take my energy. I've not had one ghost or demon take me up on my offer. So
yeah,
they just don't want my body or something. I don't know.
They're like, your body. maybe this guy thinks I'm taking his body. He's out of his mind.
You guys are funny. Taking gotta learn to take life light.
Oh yeah, for sure. Tom, what's your favorite horror movie? I don't know if I've ever asked you that.
Oh, it's the Return of the Living Dead.
Oh, that's a good answer. That's that's tied for me. It's Creepshow and Return of the Living Dead.
Creepshow's good too. Yeah, I like some of those.
I love the stories.
The short stories can really get good. Another good one that came out recently was a holiday horror story. It had William Shatner in it. He's a radio host. Yeah, it's the final thing is like Santa Claus versus Krampus at the end. But there's like 3 short stories and then a main story where William Shatner is hosting a radio show on Christmas Eve. Like we're following Santa's sleigh or whatever, and it keeps going back to Shatner and then into other stories, and it's really, really good.
Yeah, William Shatner he's always interesting. A good horror movie, if you want to see a good Christmas horror movie, Santa's Sleigh. With Bill Goldberg.
With Goldberg?
Yeah, that was really good.
Wow, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, he plays Santa. He plays an evil Santa.
Awesome.
It was on Netflix for the longest time. I think they pulled it, but it's out there somewhere. Santa's.
I have to look for that. My daughter has Netflix. I'm about to get some Netflix. I gotta switch something up. I can't do this cable thing no more. Get me a fire stick.
We've got whatever. We've got cable, but we never watch it.
Yeah, it's just such uselessness. I can't tell you unless you're paying hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to have HBO and Showtime and all the rest of the services. I have just the basic cable in my thing, and I'll tell you, the free for you on demand is like, I can't find none of these movies that you'd want to watch.
Check your cell phone plan, because Molly and I, through her cell phone, we get basic cable on one TV.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to look, because I'm just going to get rid of I wanted to get rid of it. I attempted. I even brought the boxes back, and then I made them give me another box back, because I figured if I'm going to pay for it, I might as well at least have a box. I don't really watch TV, and I don't watch movies. That's the crazy thing. I'm a filmmaker, and it's homework to me to watch movies, and I enjoy them. It's just that I find it hard to find 2 hours to sit down and just watch a movie unless I want to watch it for the effects, or I want to spend time with somebody, whether it be my children or whatever. That's really all I spend time with is my children. But anyway, yeah, watching movies is homework for me sometimes.
ATT Unlimited comes with live TV.
Yep.
We have ATT cable and internet, but we have Verizon for our cell phone. We'll have to look into that.
Yeah, I think I got a free subscription because I just bought a Note 20, And I think it came with like some YouTube or something. So I think you could watch movies through YouTube, right?
Yeah.
I gotta learn how to do these things because, again, it's technology. I don't just gotta push the on button. My kids laugh. They'll tell you how, sometimes I just have problems using a remote control.
I've been summoned. Hello.
Oh, we're gonna tell her how to get rid of cable. She wants out.
Oh.
Yeah. Out of cable and into either the phone or a smart stick. I mean, I got to get a smart TV first. My TV is one of those older models. It's
Just
still
get a Fire Stick. Does it have an HDMI port?
No, it's got a CD player and a 8-track player, I believe.
And your TV,
or whatever you call it, VCR.
Or
That's how
VCR.
old my TV is. Now my two kids, they got smart TVs. So I don't really watch TV and movies like I was saying. So as long as they could put a smart stick to theirs, I don't need any cable. But they won't let me cancel my plan right now. Talking about
okay, if you want to watch TV, first thing you got to do is get a real TV. That's step one. Get yourself a TV.
I'm a music person. I love music. I listen to music all the time. But I do want to, watch movies every once in a while.
Because there's lots of apps on it that you can get music apps and stuff too, I'm sure.
Spotify.
You know what it is? She's got a whole bunch of old porns on cassette that she can't throw out. So she's got to keep that VCR.
Yeah, no. But I do got some hair trading videos like that. But no,
I can't get rid of my Girls Gone Wild. I got to come over to your house and watch it.
Damn, that's old school. Girls Going Wild, or do they do like seasons?
Yeah, is that? I don't think that's still around. I think didn't the guy that founded that he's in jail or something?
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, I don't think he was carding properly. If you know what I mean.
There was a video game called the Guy Game that came out for the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox way back in the day. That was pulled from store shelves because they didn't card girls that went topless either. So it's a really rare game and also illegal to own. But man, you can get some money for that.
Wow. I'd be afraid to sell it.
I'm so not updated because technology to me is so burdensome and troublesome to me. I had a pager when everybody started having cell phones. I still had a pager. I had no choice but to get rid of my pager because there wasn't any what you call them? I can't even remember what they call them. No, the public phones.
No service.
And then payphones. Yeah, payphones. That was a moment. Anyway, but yeah, so then, everybody had their cell phones for a while, and I'm just getting my first one. So I still had, I don't even think it was a flip. I think I probably had the touch screen. You still had to go ABC, DEA, and they're all over here with keypads, with sliders. I can't. So yeah, my TV, it still has VCR. That I'm gonna go get a smart TV just so I could just go get the Fire Sticks. So are you guys were saying, how do I access this stuff? You were saying. It's bad. It's real bad. You have no idea. All my energy. I'm telling you, everything. I just. All right. You want to know everything?
Call your phone provider. They'll page you back. You got to call them.
I'm sure your kids can help too. They've got lots of services where you can get the live streaming.
Yeah, she has children. Just tell your kids to
right?
Tell your kids to help.
Tell your kids to do it.
Yeah.
Hook mama up.
I could get my 5-year-old and 6-year-old cousins to teach me things. It is just so bad. And it just doesn't connect. But it's not even, I don't even think that it's just that it doesn't connect. It's like, it's supposed to be a touch screen phone. And I'll sit there with my kids look, why it ain't doing nothing? They'll come over, they'll be like, Mom, you just go like that. And it'll turn and I'm like...
when my mom first got a DVD player, true story, she asked me how to rewind it. True story. So you're not alone.
Be kind, rewind, Chris. That's ingrained into your brain.
Yeah.
It just doesn't, it doesn't compute, it doesn't look like a makeup brush. It doesn't come out in color. I don't get it.
When we had AOL, my dad waited for me his friend messaged him and he didn't know what a messenger was. And he waited for me to come home from school And he's like, show me where the L key is on here. He couldn't find the L. There was H-E on the screen. He was trying to say hello. And he couldn't find the L. He was looking forever. He never typed before.
My mom, she's got a smartphone, and she's like, I don't do text messages. I think she just recently learned how to take pictures. Like, you call her, and that was about the only thing she did was answered the phone.
Well, soon she'll be able to do video.
That's one way. Take the focus off you, but you point out somebody else how bad they are.
Yeah. Right. Well, I guess that's about all the time we have now. Thanks for coming on, Christina. I hope we answered your questions.
You did answer my questions, and I'm glad to see that you have an interest in African filmmaking, and hopefully you get some more interviews and interview a few more people from over there, get an understanding so that the unity begins to build between our people here and their people there. That's always been my thing, is trying to be the bridge. And yeah, hopefully something turns up out of it. Yeah. If not just the knowledge spread, you know what I'm saying? Just for filmmaker over there to hear you talking to someone who's in sound might give them some tips and tricks that they were like, oh, I never thought about doing that with my sound, or, because everything's about sound effects. If you want someone to jump in a horror film, but all you did was show the scary face without that sound. See, a lot of people don't realize the effects of the sound that's going on in film. Mm-hmm. Thank you. That's what I said.
All right.
Ended on that.
Join us next week.
It was nice meeting you, Tom. Good seeing you again.
Next week, we have 2 Milwaukee area old school morticians that are going to tell us a lot of interesting stories about morticians in Milwaukee. So join us next week.